Here's James straightaway three, and that's true. James, 5.5 left here in this fourth. James, the step back. Good, Bronny! With his fourth, with 4:26 to play. 4-point lead for the Lakers. James, another three, and that's good again. Bronny James feeling himself here in El Segundo.
Going down the stretch.
James in the passing lane. James the steal. Bronny all the way. The layup, no. But he's fouled.
Let's start with the uncomfortable question nobody in Los Angeles wants to answer honestly. Does Bronny James actually deserve to start for the Los Angeles Lakers? Or is this another chapter in the most complicated development story the NBA has seen in years? Because Bronny himself has made it clear that he wants more minutes, more responsibility, and a real chance to prove he belongs in the Lakers rotation. He doesn't want to be a late-game appearance or a developmental piece sitting on the edge of the bench. He wants the opportunity to show he can contribute at a meaningful level in the NBA. And in professional basketball, that kind of belief in yourself is not unusual. Most players who succeed in this league believe they deserve a bigger role long before the coaching staff is ready to give it to them.
He did great today. If you want, I mean, again, I want to be respectful to your question. I gave a long soliloquy after the Indiana game. I'm sure you can find that, but he's always ready to play. And I, hit a big three when we were kind of things were getting a little wayward there in the second quarter with some turnovers, and I'm really happy with where he's at and very confident in where he's going to be as a player.
But Bronny's situation has never been normal. The moment he entered the NBA, he carried something that almost no other rookie in league history has dealt with: the shadow and expectations of being the son of LeBron James. Every minute he plays is scrutinized. Every mistake becomes a national conversation. Every good play is either celebrated as proof he belongs or dismissed as nepotism. That pressure creates two completely different narratives around his development. One group believes Bronny was rushed into the NBA spotlight and isn't ready for a bigger role yet. The other group believes he's closer to becoming a real NBA rotation player than critics are willing to admit.
Here's James straightaway three, and that's true. James, 5.5 left here in this fourth. James, the step back. Good, Bronny! With his fourth, with 4:26 to play. 4-point lead for the Lakers. James, another three, and that's good again. Bronny James feeling himself here in El Segundo.
Going down the stretch.
James in the passing lane. James the steal. Bronny all the way. The layup, no. But he's fouled.
From a basketball standpoint, Bronny's strongest NBA-ready skill right now is defense. His defensive instincts are real. When he's on the floor, the effort is obvious. He pressures the ball, stays disciplined in his positioning, and shows the ability to switch onto multiple types of players without panicking. For a young guard trying to find his place in the NBA, defense is often the quickest way to earn minutes. Coaches trust players who can defend because defense doesn't disrupt offensive systems or require high usage. That defensive potential has already appeared in flashes when Bronny has seen minutes with the Lakers. In a recent appearance against the Indiana Pacers, he logged 13 minutes and finished with 4 points, 2 steals, 1 block, 1 assist, and 1 rebound. The stat line itself isn't overwhelming, but the activity tells a different story. 2 steals and a block in limited minutes show a player actively impacting the game. That kind of defensive energy is exactly what young players need to survive in an NBA rotation.
Nice split right there by Bronny, and then just taking flight.
Assists on the year, playing in his 11th game here for South Bay in the regular season. Step back forward, picked up by Pullen. Hero, pocket pass, Williams.
Hero with a nice strong move, but the best thing was that pump fake right there.
Abdel Fattah, first year as the head coach in Iowa, not happy about that one. Here's James, gonna try another three. Immediately says, my fault. Bronny, the split. Bronny James.
Coach is trusting him, but he's got to do the right thing.
And that's the right thing, right? He had to sit a lot in that first half because of foul trouble, and he's champing at the bit. Stolen away, Bernard. The hit-ahead D-roll. Look out! Oh, my! James steps into a three. Back to Bronny. Getting downhill.
Bronny's athleticism is another element that stands out. He has quick bursts in transition, strong vertical lift around the rim, and the recovery speed necessary to stay in front of quicker guards. Those traits are part of the reason the Lakers drafted him in the first place. They saw a player who could eventually become a defensive-minded guard capable of supporting the team's stars without demanding heavy offensive usage. But the other side of the evaluation is offense. And this is where Bronny's development still has work to do. His shooting consistency is still evolving, particularly from the NBA three-point line. His decision-making in half-court sets can sometimes be hesitant, and there are moments where he appears to be thinking through reads rather than reacting instinctively. In the NBA, hesitation can be costly. The speed of the game punishes players who take even a fraction of a second too long to make decisions. This challenge becomes even more noticeable when you're sharing the floor with elite playmakers like Luka Dončić and LeBron James. Players at that level operate with lightning-fast basketball instincts. They see passing angles and defensive rotations instantly. For a young guard like Bronny, adapting to that speed requires time and repetition. That's one of the reasons the Lakers have chosen a cautious development path rather than immediately throwing him into the rotation. A big part of Bronny's development has been happening in the NBA G League with the South Bay Lakers. In that environment, he receives extended minutes and the freedom to experiment with his offensive game. Those opportunities are critical for young players. In one of his most impressive G League performances, Bronny scored 26 points on efficient shooting, while also adding 7 rebounds and 5 assists in a strong all-around performance. That kind of production is exactly what teams want to see from a developing guard. Bronny has already experienced one memorable moment in his young career when he connected on a three-pointer off a pass from LeBron James, creating the NBA's first recorded father-son assist. The moment was historic and symbolic, but it also shifted the conversation around Bronny. Instead of simply asking whether he belonged in the NBA, people began wondering whether he could grow into a legitimate contributor for the Lakers. That question remains unanswered. Being drafted into the NBA is only the beginning of the journey. Staying in the league requires constant improvement. Every roster spot is fiercely competitive, and young guards across the league are trying to earn the same opportunities Bronny wants. When Bronny talks about wanting a larger role or eventually becoming a starter, the real question isn't whether he believes it. Confidence is essential for any professional athlete. The bigger question is whether the Lakers believe he can grow into that role. Right now, the team appears to see him as a long-term developmental piece rather than an immediate starter. That doesn't mean the door is closed. Development in the NBA often happens over multiple seasons. Many players who eventually became reliable rotation guards spent years refining their game before earning trust from coaches. The Lakers appear to believe Bronny's defensive foundation, combined with his athleticism and improving shooting confidence, could eventually make him a valuable complementary player. The next major step will likely happen during the upcoming offseason and training camp before the 2026-27 season. Training camp is where players earn trust, where coaches determine rotations, and where developmental players either take a leap forward or remain in the background. If Bronny arrives stronger, more confident offensively, and capable of making quicker reads in the Lakers system, the conversation around his role could change dramatically. If his shooting becomes consistent, if his defensive presence grows stronger, and if his confidence continues building, Bronny could develop into the type of two-way guard teams value in modern NBA rotations. But that transformation requires time, repetition, and opportunity.